It's up to the architect to put together a great platform for an application, and it's up to the software developers to then implement that correctly. Well, I don't want to say that. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to say. What? Kitty. Helps to turn all your mics on, because otherwise, well, can't hear what I'm saying. Try it different. The teleprompter is going to be right in front of me today. So I'm going to actually be pausing a lot. So I got a bunch of editing to do, but you know, you do what you do some days, right? Is this on? Hopefully it's on. You hear my funny commentary. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, complementary vendors that are looking for more, you know, kind of cloud-based features to be added to their systems. I'd like to think that in the next, well, Collie, stop! Golly. When Microsoft first, are they more valuable than the create or replace enhancement, which I've linked in the editorial? Are they more valuable? Not that I have any shortage of things to say, but just don't know what order to put them in. And if without, and so we often don't have cats walking across our podcasts. You're a cat. I know. And as a result, most of us don't really have any idea of the relative importance. Well, let's try that again anyways. I'd love to see a cat that didn't interrupt the podcast. Kitty, come here. Go down here for a second. There you go. We may not sign the purchase orders, you know, but us DBAs really like SQL Server. We really work on it. I got to stop there. Nice. You having fun? We may something with come here, lay down. There you go, right there. And then allowing people in the community to go look at. You can't do that. I'd love to see a list of the top 20 features, you know, that, well, Kitty, you gotta stop, I gotta work. Leave my mic, my fake mic there. All right, how many of us have to deliver podcasts and can't remember what they're gonna say, or can't see what they're gonna say, or do something that they're gonna say? Probably not many of us. My guess is most of us have had to do that, or most of you, or most of anybody. My guess is most of us have had to do that sometime, and it seems that many technology professionals still want something to happen. Building your soft skill. I went too fast there. Now. I like to write, but I learned early in my career that there's written skills, that documentation skills would be critical. You know, there's this huge advantage to me being able to express myself clearly to somebody in a memo, an email, something else. When it did, completely went off track. Not sure if that was actually correct, but you know. And that's all the podcast today, you know, so we're done. Actually, Steve Jones, the voice of the DBA podcast. Now I'm done. I like to write, but really I learned early in my career that there's this huge advantage to being able to express myself clearly to everyone that I had to work with in a written way. Now, I talk about this when I give my presentation on the modern resume, but really there's no substitute for making. That's not a good transition. I like to write, but I learned early in my career that there's written skills, that documentation skills would be critical. You know, there's this huge advantage to me being able to express myself clearly to somebody in a memo, an email, something else. When it did, completely went off track. I'm going to lean back now. Not that I'm going to get to change careers to be a tiler. Maybe I'll be a manure shoveler. That seems to be something that I do regularly. But if you're planning on working with hopefully I'll get this take, methods or properties or something else, then actually implement it, then they are in implementing, you know, DR or indexing or thinking about the database. But if you plan on working with SQL Server, then it's work. What the hell am I doing here today? You guys are probably wondering what I'm doing here sometimes too. I've linked an editorial, and in it he talks about this lack of consistency. Maybe this is actually better expressed with the Boy Scout mod. I don't have my remote down here today, which is kind of annoying. I need to get another remote. Oh, great. I don't have markers in there. Oh. Hopefully you can hear me. My mic appears to be slightly off. No crisis is going to play out exactly as you planned for it. And when blah, blah, blah. Crap, I don't want to back that up again. Golly. This thing is dragging. Drag on, drag in, drag aroundy. Should I sing a song while I'm waiting for this thing to go through? See if anybody notices this. Any edits? No random cat today. Kitty is on her own mission. Waiting on a teleprompter is one of the least exciting things I do here, but sometimes you have to do it. It's my own fault, right? When things go wrong, it's usually my fault. I accept that it's my fault, and maybe I should have a checklist of podcast stuff that I can go through. All right, coming up on what I need to say. Finally, it's quiet today for once. I bounced up and down a little bit there at the end. Hardware failures occur, disasters occur, and somebody's going to knob, blah, 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 blah. We are going to make an attempt to do this again because I finally I updated it from a mama. Let's try differences again. Take 2. Is it? Let's go back here. Sync. This is the blue screen of demo crash. Aha! The nice thing about these things is they're interchangeable. This is so cool. The iPod is just cool. I mean, it's just so freaking cool. I don't know what else to say. It's just cool. And I did that again. Maybe other phones will get there. All right, take 3. And it really doesn't matter if they're, and I went off track there. It really wasn't what I wanted to say. Women are different than men without a doubt, and I think it's wonderful, and I'm thankful that we are different. I think it's wonderful that we go off on tangents. Look at sports. So many of us bond in sports in our youth. Men are often physically superior. And I haven't made too many mistakes here. I gotta go back. This is the part I really like because I think it's very, very true, and I don't think a lot of people forget it. And I've got a friend here. Hey there, baby. What do you say? You came to visit today? You're interfering with the podcast. I'm almost done, and you're interfering. We're hiring them to work and interact with others, to solve problems and to get along with other people and make subjective decisions about whatever they were going to say, which means we've got problems here. Jump down. And I shouldn't jerk over there. It's a bad thing, huh? I should get some women to do these, but nobody wants to go on camera. Well, I'm not sure that's actually what I should say. I don't know why I do this so much. Somebody. And I didn't make many mistakes. Not many mistakes. That's my not many mistakes dance. Take 1. that actually more people chose identity keys rather than GUIDs, but it seems that most of the demos, I shouldn't use a but there because that's wrong. Slows down just a hair instead of the identity values. Now, I would like to continue talking, but I really don't know what I'm going to say because, I know what I'm going to say, but it's out of sequence because teleprompter went too fast. And I'm talking too fast. In the blog, Peter actually says that GUIDs are not a good choice, but I'm not really sure, moving around. And I don't have a marker there, so it's going to have to go slow. Is that yes or no? Don't forget to give me your view on GUIDs versus GUIDs, because when somebody said GUID, I wasn't sure what the heck they were talking about. Now, I don't recommend them, but blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. That's one of my favorite words, I think. Now you ought to be able to hear me, hopefully. Yikes. Hi, welcome to the Voice of the DBA podcast. I'm Steve Jones. It's called Yikes. I forgot to do my take one, so now there you go. I don't love traveling, but after reading this item, article, whatever, think, maybe whatever I've got there. Oh, geez, I got to redo this whole thing because of that. I'm Steve Jones. It's called Yikes. That was way off. Hi, welcome to the Voice of the DBA podcast. I'm Steve Jones. It's called Yikes. Hi, welcome to the Voice of the DBA podcast. I'm Steve Jones. It's called Yikes. That was better. I think it's an issue that you have to pay attention to. I don't know why I'm looking around. Apparently Kitty wants to play as well, huh? Having any linkage at all to the mechanical controls, and I certainly don't think this should exist in airplanes. This Friday's poll, the Friday shirt. What do you spend on disaster recovery? Like kittens crawling on your middle of your work. Do you consider it part of application development, maybe? Do you think about the failure that when this that result from the downtime? Over time, though, I think there's going to be less tolerance for kind of this bumbling Keystone Cops efforts that I see in many, something.